Hi guys. So I know it's been a couple weeks since I posted a vlog. I've been posting the full interviews of a couple wives, and then plus we had the National Day of Prayer, and I did a little search for that. But today, this evening, I'm actually have a title for today's vlog, and it's called "Let Birdie Fly." And when I say "Let Birdie Fly," if some of you kind of can catch the drift, it just means that person that you're holding on to, let them go. That person that you have like bondage to, like you're so wrapped in people bondage, let them go, because it's nothing compared to what the Lord has for you. And we get so wrapped up in dating people's potential that we know is not going to go anywhere. And it's unfortunate because you fall for that person and you love them so deeply and you care about them, but where you're going, and if you see that there's no progress in their growth and you're surpassing them, you have to let Birdie fly. And then sometimes Birdie might try to come back. And if that happens, you have to determine whether it's worth letting them back in. Have they changed? Do you see any progress? And even if Birdie don't fly, sometimes you have to be that Birdie to let go. So like I always do, I jump right into it. I have a verse from the New Living Translation. I am reading from Isaiah 43:18. But forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I'm going to do. So, um, forget all that. Forget the past. The Lord is saying, forget the past. Forget what's already done. It's nothing compared to what He's going to do. So let Birdie fly. Whatever happened in your relationship, whatever the issue, you forget about it, because that goes that time when we dwell on it and we try to think of things we could have did or how we can still fix it, and it has already happened. It's out of our control, and that is where you have to come in and play to guard your heart, because you're so wrapped up into thinking about that issue and you're investing your energy into it, and you don't need to be investing your energy into it. And trust me, I know, because I've done it. When I was going through my divorce, I had soul ties that I needed to cut from my ex-husband, and I just couldn't let Birdie go. Like, I couldn't let him fly, because I was like, I love him, that's my husband. Even when we were divorced, I was like, but maybe if we still try this. And people still reconcile after divorce, but it just wasn't meant for our situation. And I eventually had to understand that in order for me to progress, I had to, one, forgive him. I had to forgive myself, because we get so hard on ourselves and thinking that some things are our fault, or even just being mad at ourselves for being mad at that person. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive that person, forgive that situation, because that's how you're going to move on. It's not for them, it's for you, because they're not losing sleep at night. You're the one that's stressed out about it. So in order for you to progress, let Birdie fly. Let him go. Try not to dwell on the past. Try not to, we get so wrapped up sometimes in, going on their social media pages and, their friends' page. They fine. They fine. They mama fine. They daddy fine. And brother, sister, you let Birdie fly. Let the family fly too. You don't need to be up in that nest. That ain't none of your business. You have to grow. You have to progress. You have to keep moving for yourself, because you can't be so wrapped up in the bondage that you lose yourself, and then you don't know you're in the wilderness. And I'm not exempt from anything that I'm saying, because I'm still human, and there are times where I react out of the flesh, and of course I have to repent and get it together, because I want to be a person that I practice what I preach. I want to be a woman of my word. So I'm not just saying this because my life is so perfect. I had to let Birdie fly too, another Birdie fly, and I had to be the Birdie to fly away too. You just have to get out of those toxic situations, because nothing's good is going to come. And the longer you wait, the longer you keep Birdie in the nest. And if you know that this isn't right, because we have discernment, we have instincts, and you have to trust your gut feelings. Trust those instincts, and the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna be. And that's the issue. It depends per situation. I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, oh, you need to let them go, man or woman. But it's so much easier said than done. You have to really be prepared. You have to pray to the Lord. Ask Him to give you that strength. Ask Him to help you, and He will reveal a situation. And at that point, it's your free will if you're gonna fall through with His plan. If He's laying it out for you to get rid of that person and get that person out of your life, you have to go forward. Trust into the Lord and that He's going to take care of you. Like the verse said, it's nothing compared to what I already have for you. So His will is already done. You just have to keep it pushing. And yes, we get so caught up and, we might be down in the wilderness and, just lost for a while. But that's okay, because during that time you're lost, you seek the Lord. You have to seek the Lord. You seek Him for understanding, and you fill that void with Him. Don't go fill it with another person. Don't fill it with Birdie, because Birdie might try to come back and be like, oh, I miss you, babe. No, that's cute. That's cute. Okay, it's nice to be missed, but don't fly away. You let Birdie fly, because you need that for yourself. And I'm only saying this because I feel like a lot of us struggle with that. A lot of people struggle with letting go. I struggled with it for like a while because I was just so wrapped up in this. It's not over. My marriage is not over. Are you serious? But it was over. I had to let Birdie fly. I had to go, because it's not healthy. You can't be so wrapped up into that situation because it's dead. Now it's your turn to die to the situation, die to those feelings, die to all that. I know if you guys watched my first vlog when I talked about guarding your heart, you have to die to those situations in order for you to, be renewed and feel restored. You have to focus on yourself. And in that, once you let Birdie fly, you guard your heart, because you're going to be vulnerable, because now you have to learn to adjust without this person and the new normal. And when you're vulnerable, people prey on vulnerability. So that's when you have to guard your heart. You're going to have to guard your heart regardless. When you're in the world and you're out here and you're in the flesh, you guard your heart. So once Birdie is gone, you have to guard your heart. Let Birdie fly, because it's nothing that's going to come from that. And I say Birdie because I'm not just focusing on women breaking up with men. Men break up with women too. So it's just kind of like, you have to have that understanding that you're going to be okay, and also understand that you are enough. That person does not determine your value. You may feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Who's going to love me now? I don't know how to love myself. Or that person, I'm so used to that person. It's someone else out there that wants the same things that you want, and there's no probably, more than likely can love you better than that person and understand your value and your worth. So never think that you're not enough. You are enough. You're enough for the Lord. The Lord believes you're enough. So why don't you think you're enough? Your value is not determined from Birdie. Stop having people bondage. You be free from that. You free yourself from that. You die from that situation. You die to that situation. You die to the flesh. You die to whatever bad thoughts and any behavior that has to do with that situation, because the Lord puts the signs there. He puts them there, and like I said before, sometimes we ignore those signs. I've ignored signs because you think, when you have good times, okay, this is it, but you have bad times too, and that can overlap, good situations, and you don't know what to do, but it's been there all along. You have to look at the signs. You have to understand that those signs are there for a reason. That gut instinct, that discernment is there for a reason. It's not just, they tripping, they acting crazy. No, they gonna act like that in the long run. Do you want to bring that into a marriage? If they have rebellious behavior now, you think it's going to change? If it's time and time again and they're showing you, this is me, this is who I am, are you willing to put up with that? You're not compromising at that point. You're settling, because they're not compromising. They're not meeting you in the middle. Let Birdie fly. And if Birdie don't want to fly, then you fly. You walk away from this situation, because nothing good is gonna come from it. And like I said, it can be unhealthy. You don't want that. You don't want to be, so wrapped up and still trying to save a situation that's already dead. So I'm going to repeat it from the New Living Translation, Isaiah 43:18, and I'll read on until 19. So, but forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I'm going to do, for I'm about to do something new. See, I've already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. Like I said, we go through the wilderness when we let Birdie fly. The Lord has already done it. He's already done it. He said He's created pathways through the wilderness. But you can't see that until you get out of that situation. The situation put those blinders on you, and you're so wrapped up into that person that you forgot that the Lord already had a plan for you. This wasn't, He didn't call this person to be with you. And He gave you the signs, and you chose to use your free will to ignore it because you thought you could change a person. You can't change Birdie. The Lord could change Birdie. Birdie gonna change when Birdie ready to change. You ain't change him because you gonna lose sight of your growth if you're investing into that person. Let Birdie fly. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it, but you have to let Birdie go because the Lord already did it. He said He already done something new. He has something He begun. You don't you see it? You can't see it because you're too focused on Birdie. Let Birdie fly. Trust me, it will be good in the end because then you'll realize that what you were chasing was nothing compared to what the Lord already had for you. So that is my small little rant. I just wanted to get that out there because I think it's important. And always, please remember to guard your heart. It is so important. Please remember to guard your heart. Once Birdie fly, it's going to be all these little birdies and flies and butterflies and you think they're pretty, but they're not. Lord didn't send them. You're supposed to be spending time with the Lord, not with them. So you spend time with the Lord and you get yourself together because He's creating pathways through the wilderness. He's creating rivers in the dry land. He has all of this. You seek the kingdom first. You cast your cares unto the Lord, and then you don't worry about them. So you let Birdie fly, and I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. I hope you have a good rest of the week. All right, bye.